the Fade 5 podcast with Brad Evans and Nate Lundy.
Place your bets, you jackwagons! Brad the Big Noise Evans here, joined by the good son, Nathaniel Lundy. 'Tis indeed another edition of the Fade 5 podcast, and we're going to cover it all. We're going to have some hoopla action across the spectrum of conference tournaments that are getting underway or, getting deeper into those exercises. I'm going to make some selections there. We're going to have some Friday night college basketball action as well in conferences still in the regular season. NHL, NBA, we got it all. But first of all, let's hop aboard the Honk Honk Plus Bus and get our favorite plus winner odds or greater wagers on the board. Mr. Lundy, please share, and I'm assuming you're going to drop the puck and make some bucks, aren't you?
Of course we are, Brad. What kind of question is that for a frozen Friday? Yeah, we're going to do some puck bucks here to be able to get us on the plus bus. We name everything here on the podcast.
We do.
It all has catchy nicknames when we're doing things like this. Yeah, we're going to go to the ice. I'm going to lay this one down for you. Then I'm also going to put an asterisk next to it for you guys to be able to keep track of as we go through the day today. First of all, we will start with Dallas. We will be on the road in Anaheim as they will take on the Ducks. And we're going to go with Jason Robertson. We're talking about a guy here in Robertson that is on a point streak right now. He's got 4 points over the course of his last 4 games. Always feel good about something like that. 2 goals, 2 assists. So he's feeling it right now. You're going up against a little bit of a lower tier team when it comes to the Anaheim Ducks. So I'm expecting Jason Robertson to stay on that point streak and get us either an assist or a goal tonight on the road in SoCal. And then we're going to go to Seattle. They will be hosting the Winnipeg Jets here, the Kraken will. And we're going to talk about Jared McCann. Also on a point streak, by the way, but he's got 6 over the course of his last 3 games. That's 2 goals and 4 assists for him. Now, here's where the asterisk comes in, Brad. Today is the NHL trade deadline.
Oh.
Seattle has already pulled 1 trade. They've got a couple of, I'm not going to go too much of a deep dive into it, but they've got some unrestricted free agents sitting on their roster that they may decide to try to move today. If all of a sudden Seattle's roster, if they pull 2-3 trades today and all of a sudden the Kraken are moving things around, then I probably would stick with Robertson, but I'll go find somebody else for a point. My 2 favorites, as everything sits right now, are Robertson and McCann. But if for some reason Seattle goes crazy here at the trade deadline, it's possible that McCann is sitting there, but all of a sudden he's like Will Smith in that closing scene of Fresh Prince where he's just looking around and he can't find anybody. And so if all of a sudden he's missing his teammates, then it makes me nervous to be able to have McCann. I probably will find somebody else, or I'll look on the opposite roster when they're taking on the Jets, and I'll find somebody with Winnipeg instead. So I really like this one. I love it at plus 153. But like I said, slight asterisks depending upon if Seattle goes crazy here on the trade deadline.
Do it for Carlton. Do it for Uncle Phil. Do it for Aunt Viv. I like that selection there in the NHL, and I have no idea who these people are. Just follow Lundy. Meanwhile, in college basketball, let's get to the artist formerly known as the Colonial Athletic. It is now called the Coastal Athletic. I guess colonists were offended. I had no idea why they changed the name, but I like the artist formerly known as the Flying Dutchman. Now they're called the Pride. That is Hofstra to cut down the nets and get the auto berth in this league exercise and win that conference tournament. Plus 325. Yeah, work the shoulders and get seduced by that juice there at BetMGM. Why am I on the Pride? Where I think the Lions are really going to roar in this one because if you look at Mark Torvik and you sorted since February 1st, they are the number 2 ranked team in this conference, number 13 overall in all of college basketball at EFG offense, netting 51.6% inside the arc, but more importantly, draining a plethora of threes at 39.7 during that stretch. Also more than adequate defensively, number 61 at EFGD. A team that is respectable, 8-10 at road neutral games this year, and a team, too, that is number 3 in all of college basketball and road neutral environments in EFG offense. They got some gunners, most notably Tyler Thomas, a guy that takes a ton of shots every single game and many of those coming from outside. He's netting 36.1% from three. And most importantly, too, a guy that draws a lot of whistles, and he makes you pay at the charity stripe, 85.4% on free throws. And that's going to come in handy in some of these tight matchups here during March Madness. So to recap, give me Hofstra, the pride to win the Coastal Athletic Conference Tournament plus 325 at BetMGM. With those bets on the board, let's get after it with another edition of the Fade 5.
Number 5.
Numero 5 here on the countdown. Let's stick with a mid-major theme and the March Madness theme as well. Give me Samford, not Stanford, Sam with Samford to win the SoCon at plus 150 there at BetMGM. This is a team that's been the class of this conference all season long. And one, if you look at Bart Torvik's overall analytics since February 1st, they're not only numero uno in the conference, but they're number 76 overall in all of college basketball. A team at the mid-major level, I think, is going to put a fright into a high major opponent in the NCAA tournament, assuming they make it. Probably going to be on that 12, maybe 13 seed line when the pairings come out, assuming they get the auto berth. Over the stretch since February 1st, they're number 11 at EFG offense. They're shooting a blistering 58.4% inside the arc and 38.4% outside. But man, they can fill up the cup. Decent defensively, number 160 at EFGD. Their strength is clamping down the arc, where they're giving up just 30.4% over the last 4 weeks. Road neutral games this season, they are top 50 at EFG offense, top 95 at EFG defense, and a pretty sparkling 8-5 record in some of those high leverage games. So put all together, give me Samford to win the SoCon plus 150. It's chalky white, but still I feel a good value in that league available at BetMGM. Lundy, I know you know nothing about Samford, but pay or follow.
I remember Samford and Son. Is that the same thing?
It is identical.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, well, that was a funny show. So sure. I'll go with Samford to win. I don't know what the hell you're doing here. This is like this time of year when we start getting into the mid majors. This is where I start to feel the way you feel about hockey. So,
yep.
Some of it I'm okay with. Some of it I'm going to follow along. We can talk some little Mountain West coming up here in a minute, but when you're getting into like where you're confusing people because they think you're talking about the Cardinal, and not some other, everybody gets confused. So sure, plus 150, BetMGM, love it. Plus odds, I'm in. Sure, yeah.
Samford, wherever you're located, just bet on them to cut down the nets of the SoCon.
Number 4.
Numero 4 here, the Fade 5 countdown on this Freaky Friday. Let's get some NBA action on the board. Let's go at Anthony Simons. I'm going to take the over in assists and rebounds combined. That, remember, we're sitting at 10.5 at a minus 120 juice, available there at DraftKings Sportsbook. The representative of the Portland Trailblazers is taking on a team in which he should do hellified damage against, and that is the Houston Rockets. Yes, Portland sucks. There's no dismissing that at all. They're one of the worst teams in the NBA. But you look at Simons, he has done this in 3 of his last 4 games. In the month of March, he is averaging 5 rebounds per game and 8.5 assists per game. I'm no math major, but let's see. I'm going to carry the one. 13.5. That's well north of what's needed here, the 10.5 number in those combined categories. He had 11 combined in the first matchup against Houston back on January 24th. And you look at the Rockets. They've allowed the second fewest opponent assists per game over the last 15, but where Simons could really rack the numbers in rebounds, they've given up the 4th most opponent rebounds per game over that same stretch. So I'm hopefully going to make some pennies in P-Town on Anthony Simons over 10.5 assists plus rebounds, minus 120 at DraftKings. Lundy, pay to follow.
It's all math, folks. This one's pretty easy. You just, again, Brad already laid it out for you. I like this one a lot. Actually had my eye on some player props for him going into this contest because, again, as we said, Portland, yuck. There's a couple of teams that are like that. For example, San Antonio's already eliminated from the playoffs.
How about the Wizards? They keep losing.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, there's some teams that you just need to pick on this time of year, and this is one of the. Portland is definitely one of them. No, great call on this one. Again, do the numbers, folks. And with the way this is sitting juiced, this could move. This could wind up getting to 11.5 by the time we get to tip off, and you might even be able to take that one at plus money.
Slam it home with Anthony Simons on the over 10.5 assists plus rebounds.
Number 3.
Numero tres here on the feed. 5 countdown. Let's go to one of the marquee matchups tonight in the world of college basketball, and it's in the Atlantic 10. The front runners there, the Dayton Flyers, going to represent this league in the NCAA tournament, whether they get the auto berth or not. They're a shoo-in to make the field. Got it projected right now as a number 5 seed, the latest iteration of the bracket big board, which you can view for free right now at thegamingjuice.com. But I like the visitors here. I'm going to ram it home with VCU catching 7.5 points, minus 110. Juice there available at Caesars Sportsbook. The reason why I like VCU in this game, stellar defensive team on the road this season, in which they are 5-2 straight up. They have been the definition of road warriors, not ripping the cords on offense at number 112 at AFG during that road game stretch, but they're number 14 in all of college basketball at effective field goal percentage defense in those away matchups the last 30 days. Respectable number 89 overall at Bar Torvik. They play a more slowed down pace. Cue the key sweat in the background. Number 251 adjusted tempo during that stretch. They're in the 140s, EFG offense, EFG defense over that stretch, but excellent getting second chance opportunities. Excellent, of course, on defense overall. They play still that havoc style pressure defense. They force a lot of miscues and turnovers in the opposition. And you look at Dayton, they've been outstanding offensively. There's no way to overlook that. Number 7 in the country in effective field goal percentage offense over the last 30 days. A team that does play a usually low possession kind of affair, but they're number 213 and effective field goal percentage defense are giving up over 55% at the rim this year. So hopefully some of those near proximity shots are going to fall through the cylinder for VCU, and they're going to keep this one nice and snug. Now, Dayton, untouched at home, a perfecto 14-0 this season, but I think VCU, again, ram it home. I'm going to take a plus 7.5. I think Dayton wins this thing around 4 to 5 points, minus 110 at Caesars. Lundy, Rams, Flyers, you know where I'm at. Fade or follow.
I will roll with VCU because the number is 96. That's the magic number, 96. You want to know why? Because the first time they played each other, 49-47. That was the final. That was not the score at halftime, folks. That was the final score. Was 49-47. And again, going back as you were doing when we were talking about Anthony Simons, I'm no math major, but that's 2 points, and that means plus 7.5 would give you the cover. Now, Dayton, spectacular, spotless, sensational, all the other adjectives when they are at home. But I say VCU keeps this thing close. Might be sweating a little bit, maybe hoping that Dayton's not hitting some of those bonus time free throws down the stretch to get it outside of this 8-point margin. But I think this is a good call. Again, just following what these two teams have done, I think VCU's got a cover in them, even on the road.
Hey, Dayton, do your best impression of Temple. Just shave some points so I can score the winner.
Number 2.
Numero dos here on the feed. 5 countdown. I'm going to go with the fighting Antonio Gates, maybe Julian Edelman, if you will. Give me Kent State plus 8.5 against Toledo in this Battle of Ohio inside the Miggity Mac daddies, and Miggity Mac jump. Minus 110 is the juice there at BetMGM. This all boils down to the fact that the Rockets don't exactly blast off the launching pad defensively. They're always a team that leaves the door wide open. Let me give you the evidence to back it up. over the last month, they are number 320 in all of college basketball in effective field goal percentage. Defense are giving up 55.4% inside the arc and 36% from way downtown. Very good offensive team. As proof, they are number 11 in all of college basketball in EFG offense at home, where they are 11-3 straight up. But again, they just don't defend. They prefer a fast pace. So this game's got to be zip, 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 zip. No question about that. Kent will run, though they're number 290 in adjusted tempo over the last 30 days. But a team also number 187 to EFG offense and much better defensively than the opposition. The Kent State Golden Flashes, number 73 in EFGD. They're only giving up 27.6% along the arc, Lundy, since February 1st. So pull it all together. I think they keep this one nice and snug. So give me the Golden Flashes plus 8.5 on the road up there in northwestern Ohio against the Rockets. Minus 110 juice there at BetMGM. Good, sir. Fair to follow.
Don't hate it, but let me give you an alternate way to be able to do this. Give me Kent State plus 12.5 and bring the total down to 147.5 and play the over. You talked about the pace of play. You look at the scoring that's taken place between these two teams. Certainly, if you go back and you look at the first matchup back in January, they finished with, let me do the quick math, 164 on the board.
Good Lord.
So it was 89-75 was the final. So if you take Kent State and get them to plus 12.5, take that total down from the 154, take it down to 147.5 and play the over, that's a flat plus 100. Ooh. Nice simple SGP. It plays into what you talked about with the tempo, and it gives us a little bit more cushion with Kent State from the 8.5, and you push it up to the 12.5. So throw that out there as an SGP and a way to play it. It's what I decided to do this morning, and I got it at even money over at DK.
Oh, Lundy, you dirty talker. Let me remove my belt. All you had to say was SGP.
Number 1.
Numero uno here on the Fade 5 countdown. Yeah, the belt is still off because I got an SGP of my own in the marquee matchup of the evening in college basketball. Let's go to one of my favorite conferences in these United States of America. That is the Mountain West. And the matchup in SoCal inside Voluminous Viejas. It's always allowed in a rowdy Raucous arena. Give me on the SGP, San Diego State on the money line. And we're going to live in the middle on this one. Give me Boise State. And I'm going to jack up the spread to plus 18.5. And I'm going to take the total way up to the highest available value and hit the under on 147.5. Built this only at BetMGM at a plus 115 juice. This game should not be a blowout by any stretch of the imagination because Boise State has been outstanding on the road this year. They are 6-3 straight up, and they're number 89 in the country EFG offense, though they have waned defensively away from the land of the potatoes, number 222 in EFG defense in those road matchups, and it gets worse. They're number 235 EFGD since February 1st, but a team that has a strong interior presence and strength. They're one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country, and they are numero uno in defensive rebounding percentage in action since February 1st. Very good interior scoring team as well. They will hang tough. Meanwhile, look at San Diego State, number 23 overall on board, Torvik. They are undefeated at home, an impeccable 12-0 inside Viejas, 148 in EFG offense and 38 in EFG defense, number 25 in EFG defense in action over the last 10 games. Another team gets a lot of second chance opportunities because Jaden Ledee, I don't know if you've seen him, man, that dude is wide. He does a lot of squats. He does a lot of like lat pulls in the gym. He's a menace working inside, whether calling his own number or dishing it outside for like Butler and guys making some of the triples. Look, you look at San Diego State, this is not a team that really is up to snuff like last year's Final Four representative. But I am projected right now as being a number 5 seed, kind of teetering on that 5-6 seed line. Boise State looking like a team that's probably going to be in the 8, 9, maybe even 7 seed, maybe as high as a 6 seed conversation. So they're going to be competitive. So put it all together. My number 1 play on this Friday, SGP style, the Aztecs money line, the Broncos plus 18.5, and the under, and I misspelled it, I'll correct that as Lundy runs this down, 147.5. You put all three together, plus 115 at BetMGM. Lundy, am I cray? Better follow.
So we're taking the Udner, according to your spelling.
Under, yes.
The under on the 140. Man, I get a little bit worried about the Aztecs just deciding to step on the throttle, but 18.5 is a lot, man.
They don't run, man. They're not going to step on the gas.
No, I just mean like on their throat, just like, we're going to knock you right out of the gym.
Oh.
So I'm you know what? I'll follow on this one. I was debating it. Maybe not necessarily the 18.5. Maybe it's even that under, but I think overall you put together something pretty smart here. San Diego State will stay undefeated at home. They'll continue to roll. Boise State can make it interesting. We just got to hope that San Diego State doesn't suddenly get hot in the second half. So I'll follow on this one. I'm a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little nervous, but I'll roll with you with this one.
Oh, let's do it for California. Let the Lagunitas IPAs flow, baby. Take care of business. Both Boise and San Diego State, and we live in the middle and hopefully cash. Lundy, it's bonus time. Could be the NHL, could be the NBA, could be my favorite sport this time of year, in college basketball. What else do you have on your dance card? Please share it, baby. Go.
It's a pretty light slate in hockey tonight, only 4 games, but let me give you a couple more plays. I put this out on Twitter. I said it on Monday. I said it again on Wednesday. Chances are I'm going to tweet it again tonight. Folks, Nathan MacKinnon at home. Wash, rinse, repeat. It's just what he is doing right now. It is absolutely insane as he continues the home point streak. He has a point in every single home game this season, but 6 of the last 7 home games, he's got at least 2. And that includes the fact that on Monday, he had 4 points against Chicago. On Wednesday, 4 points against Detroit. I think he's going to double it up again tonight and have at least 2 points. We will play the over on 1.5, and we will take that at minus 110 juice over at DraftKings. And for you non-hockey folks, a 1.5 is almost always plus odds. The fact that it's minus 110 tells you how much Nathan MacKinnon is dominating at home right now for the Avs. This is a big game for them against Minnesota. So again, I will take MacKinnon to have over 1.5 points in that one. I told you, make sure off the top, keep an eye on Jared McCann, but something I do like going back to that Dallas and Anaheim game, the total is sitting at 6.5. The over is actually plus 105, which is a little bit surprising to me. Here's the thing. Anaheim's not very good. The reason you're getting the plus odds is because you could wind up seeing Dallas win this thing like 5-1, something like that because of Anaheim. But here's the thing. Dallas is coming off of a home and home against the San Jose Sharks. And remember, San Jose sucks. And on Tuesday of this week, Dallas gave up 6 goals to the Sharks. So I don't think they're going to hold Anaheim at bay. I'm going to play the over on the 6.5 in part because I love the fact that I'm getting it at plus 105 right now at DraftKings. Finally, I'll put a bow on my picks for tonight with CJ McCollum of your New Orleans Pelicans. Give me the over on 3.5 assists. That's all it's sitting at right now for a guy that is averaging 4.5 a game on the season. And in the first matchup against the 76ers, yes, it was all the way back in November, but he had 5 against the 76ers. And in his last 10 games, he's averaging 3.8. So I know that number is down just slightly compared to his season average of 4.5, but I do believe he will hit the over. Take that one. Over 3.5 assists for Mr. McCollum. I yield the floor to the gentleman from Illinois.
All right, let's go to the NBA and get our team Ramos parlay play of the day on the board on this SGP. And come with me if you are buying what I am selling in a game only a gambler could love. Because why would you even remotely want to watch a single second of this unless you're a masochist? Give me Charlotte and Washington, the over between the Hornets and Wiz, 219.5, and Lake Numero there. They went 248 and 231, well over this total. earlier this season, a pair of matchups. You look as well, they're giving up 235.6 combined opponent points per game over the last 15, well north of the 220 needed. Leg numero dos, Tres and Cuatro, Kyle Kuzma, all the time. Give me the Kuz, 15 or more points. Give me the Kuz, 5 or more rebounds. And give me the Kuz, 2 or more triples. Looking at the points specifically, Charlotte, they've allowed the ninth fewest points per game in the opposition over the last 15. But in the 3 prior matchups this season, against the Hornets, he did in all 3, and he's done this in 6 straight, scoring at least 15. Meanwhile, the rebounds. You look at the Hornets, they're giving up the 3rd most opponent rebounds per game over the last 15 to 46.1. Kuzma, guess what? Did it all 3 prior matchups against his franchise earlier this season, and has done this in 6 straight games. And then the triples, all he needs is 2 from way downtown. Bang him home, Kuzma. He's done this as well in all 3 prior matchups against the Wiz, the Washington giving up the 12th fewest opponent, the Hornets giving up the 12th fewest opponent, made threes at 12.6 over the last 15. Still, he's done this in 4 straight games. So to recap on the SGP, Hornets, Wizards, over 219.5. Kuzma, 15 or more points. Kuzma, 5 or more boards. Kuzma, 2 or more made triples, plus 150. Work the shoulders against the deuce by that juice there at BetMGM. Elsewhere in bonus time. Let's stick with the NBA. I'm going to live and land down under on Jarrett Allen rebounds, taking on the Frenchman, Rudy Gobert of Minnesota. That number is sitting at 11.5 at even plus 100 odds at BetMGM. Number's too high. Minnesota really commands the glass. Number 9 in the NBA in fewest opponent rebounds per game allowed over the last 15. You look at Alan Shurry. He's averaging 13.3 boards per contest in his last 4. He's coming off a 19-rebound game in the ATL, but he's also been under this in 3 of his last 6. But again, it's all about Gobert and that presence on the glass. Seal off the glass. Box out, Rudy. Box out. And Jarrett Allen, I think, is going to cash in on that under 11.5 rebounds. Elsewhere in bonus time, let's go back to college basketball, shall we? And work in another offering. Lundy, do you have any idea what the nickname, I'm going to put you on the spot, of Presbyterian is?
No. You got me stumped on that one. What is Presbyterian's mascot? Are they the Devils? Because that'd be pretty funny.
It would be. They are the Blue Hose, and we don't let them hose usually applies. Well, hey, listen, I'm not talking about your, Johnson. Maybe you have a Blue Hose. If you do, you might want to get it checked out. But I like Presbyterian quite a bit today in Big South Conference action. They're taking on Gardner-Webb. I grabbed a plus 6.5 at a minus 110 juice at BetMGM. And honestly, if you want to get a little sprinkle on the money line, this could be a shocker special of sorts in that tournament. And the reason being is simple. You look at Presbyterian, they're number 3, and Bar Torvik in the conference over the last about 4 weeks. Number 173 in Bar Torvik during that stretch. A team that forces oodles of opponent turnovers, 19.2% of their possessions, as a matter of fact. Very plus free throw shooting rate as well. So an aggressive team, draw a lot of whistles, force a ton of mistakes and miscues, and they make opponents pay. Now, they're only number 192 EFG offense, 248 EFG defense since February 1st. And they got to get out and defend the arc because that is the strength of Gardner-Webb. They're netting 38.5% from long distance. And Presbyterian, since February 1st, giving up 36% along the arc. But turnovers, I think, are going to be the difference in this game. They split in the regular season, so they already had some success against Gardner-Webb. So put all together, plus 6.5, too many points. In a neutral court environment, in my mind, I'm playing the pride that is Presbyterian and the Blue Hose. Yes, I do love them hoes at that plus 6.5 number. So I am on them, and I'm going to have a ton of initial action in college basketball on my spreadsheet, which you can follow only at thegamingjuice.com. Sign up for a free account right now. It's absolutely free to be a member. I'm going to be hosting some bracketology chats coming up pretty soon. Lundy's hockey content is living there. We got some additional writers and their hockey picks and content there. And I'm writing a ton of pieces every single day. Got a brand new one up about the Kentucky Wildcats. I think they're worth at least a sexy sprinkle. My suggestion to win the national title at 35-1 or make the Final Four in Glendale at plus 750 right now at BetMGM. Read the reasons why. It's free. You have no excuse at thegamingjuice.com right now. Also do us a favor, drop us a rating and or review if you enjoy this podcast, and to follow us on the X. Lundy's always giving it to you there at Nate Lundy. I'm doing the same at Noisy Huevos for the handsome Nathaniel Lundy, who I guarantee is going to be quizzing people about Presbyterian's mascot at the bar tonight and probably make a lot of money.
Yeah.
In the end, he learned something.
Blue hose, blue hose, like Blue Man Group, blue hose.
Yeah, I have no idea what blue hose is a reference to. I just hope it's not the third appendage because you might want to seek some medical attention if that is the case. For Nathaniel Lundy, I'm Brad Evans. Enjoy the madness until next time on Tuesday. Fade or follow. That is up to you.